Hey everybody, it's Daisy Rain Martin, author of Juxtaposed and Hope Givers, and I know it's Friday, and I'm not supposed to be wearing makeup today. And really, it's spring break, so it's really not for makeup. But here I am. I had to record a video. In fact, I'm going to do a couple, try and knock these out. And I thought, just for a split second, why put makeup on? Like, why go through the whole rigmarole when I'm going to make a 5-minute video or whatever. This all comes down to a guy I know named Joey Palmer. So Joey read my first book, Juxtaposed, and he wanted to debrief, and I'm like, hey, let's do breakfast, or one of us said it, and so we decided we'd meet just down the street at this breakfast place. Well, we get there and it's closed, and I said, well, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I could just go to McDonald's. And he said, okay, so let's have standards. So those 3 words, let's have standards, have been emblazoned in my brain. And every time I use a sentence with the word just in it, meaning merely or only, I hear his voice in my head saying, let's have standards. So, I was going to show up without makeup on this video, and then his voice just came ringing in my head, let's have standards. So here I am, and you have him to thank. So I did want to kind of introduce a little thing I'm going to do, and it won't be every week, with my blog, but it's called Fiction Friday, because I'm going to start writing fiction. This year I'm not doing any writing. All I'm doing is speaking in different places and honoring the writing I've already done. As you all know, that writing is memoir, it's nonfiction, and which is all well and good. I've done well, and I am so blessed to be able to spread hope and speak to people and just ride that train. But you know what? As a public school teacher of 7th graders, I have found that in young adult lit, males, and especially white males, are really overrepresented. And there's very few female protagonists, and if there are, there seems to be zero space in that in-between time when little girls are just little, they're tiny, they're Charlotte Doyle, gonna go off to be a pirate. Okay, and I'm not knocking Charlotte Doyle. A lot of kids like Charlotte Doyle. I'm just saying that's very elementary. But they go from Charlotte Doyle to Tris, or they go straight to Katniss. They go straight to something else. And they're kissing boys or trying to decide whether they want to kiss boys and all of that. I'm not opposed to kissing boys. I have a boy that I kiss, my Sean Martin, I love him. But there is no in-between time for girls. They're either children or they are often objectified. And I'm gonna call some malarkey on that, because boys are given this in-between time. And this time where they're not little boys, but they're not men. And where is the literature out there for girls that is that in-between time? They're little girls or they're women, but they're not 12, 11, 13, 14. And I just think there's such a void of that. And so I want to start writing fiction, not this year, but in 2018. I want to start writing fiction. Much in the way that Gary D. Schmidt writes, this in-between stage, and his protagonists have all been boys, although he does have a female protagonist coming out very soon, probably in 2018, which I'm really looking forward to. But much in his style and his way, he builds these beautiful stories, and I just feel that girls are interesting enough and powerful enough to sustain a plot line. So that brings me to what I'm doing here. And that is that starting in 2018, I'm going to start, really intentionally writing young adult fiction, and making this switch from nonfiction to fiction is daunting, believe me. But I'm going to go for it because I think there's a need for it, and there's a need for the kind of writing that I want to do. So this year, I'm going to start a thing called Fiction Fridays, and it's certainly not going to be every Friday, but every once in a while there will be a Friday where you'll see me share with you what I'm practicing just to take this year and hone my craft. So my writing group, the Flying Minklings, they are incredibly helpful, and I don't know if I could even attempt to do something this gargantuan without their support and their help. They're an amazing group of people, very talented writers, and they ask really good questions. So I am going to start throwing out these little fictional quips, and basically this is me practicing. The first one is today. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it, if it's worth anything, or you can just keep scrolling. Because there is no way that anybody humanly possible, except for Alvin Farless, reads every single thing I ever write or ever post. So don't feel obligated. But I'm just going to throw these out there from time to time, and they're called Fiction Friday. And basically this is me practicing to make that transition from nonfiction to fiction writing. And I'm going to do it for the girls and the boys. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my blog, please do so. And I know a lot of people had subscriptions while they were on while I was on my WordPress site, and now I'm on Wix, and I lost hundreds of followers, subscribers, and the people I've talked to lately have said, "Oh yeah, I subscribed to your blog, but I haven't heard from you in a while." It's because I made the change. So if you were a subscriber, you gotta just get back on my website, daisyrainmartin.com, and fill in, just put your email in the subscribe, and then you'll get an email. You'll get an automated email. And just click on that email, go in there and confirm that subscription, and you're back. So I appreciate you guys doing that for me, and I love you, and thank you for all your support in this endeavor. It's crazy. Thanks.